Hello and welcome to Math with Mrs. Becker. Today in college algebra, we are going to finish up section 7.4 where we go into what is called Gauss-Jordan elimination, okay? With this elimination, we will continue to do elementary row operations, meaning you can change two rows, you can add two rows together, you can multiply by a non-zero digit, okay? All of those different things. What happens is you get it to that row echelon form. So remember, we are working with matrices. Row echelon form, you have all ones on what is called your main diagonal. This is 1x, 1y, 1z. Now in the second row, you do not have an x, so it'd be a 0. In the third row, you do not have an x or a y. So this is row echelon form. Okay, that's what we did in the first section or the first part of 7.4. When you get it to here, we could do back substitution. But what happened is then there was a second method that is based off of this. Carl Friedrich Gauss came in and he was like, yo, why would you use this to go back to equations and do back substitution? Just keep doing this method and turn this into a 0, this into a 0, and this into a 0. That way, whatever number's here, that's what 1x equals. Whatever number here, that's what y equals. This is what z would equal. So what we do is we go to row echelon form, so you'll have your zeros, then you go from the bottom up and get another corner of zeros. So the only thing that you are allowed is a main diagonal of ones. Whatever number is here, that is your x. Whatever value is here, that is your y. Whatever number is here, that is your z, okay? This is one of those things where I think the best way to do it is just to jump right into it, okay? So I have 4 examples that we'll do together during these notes. Step 1, we have to turn the system into an augmented matrix. X, Y, Z equals a number. X, Y, Z equals a number. X, Y, Z equals a number. Okay, so it's already in order. So you just take the numbers. 1, -2, 3, ... where the equals was 9. Second, -1, 3, 1, -2. Bottom row, 2, -5, +5, 17. Now, don't even worry that we're moving on. Right now, you think that you want row echelon form. So I'm going to leave the top row because I have a 1 here. You need a 1 in front of your x. I do not want x's in the other 2 rows. I need those zeros. So step 1, what I'm going to do is take row 1 plus row 2. When I add those together, I'll end up with a 0. I want that 0 in row 2. So I keep row 1 the same. 1, -2, 3, ... 9. I'm keeping the bottom. 2, -5, +5, 17. Add these 2 rows, that's your new row 2. 1, -1 becomes 0. -2 and 3 becomes 1. 3 plus 1 becomes 4. 9 plus -2 becomes 7. Okay, now this is nice. I already have that 1. I want this to become a 0. Right now, this is a 1, so if I multiply the top by -2 and add it to the bottom, I get a 0, and I want that 0 in row 3. So my map, listing out the steps, I am taking -2 times row 1. I'm adding it to row 3. What will happen is I'll get a 0. I want that 0 in row 3. So I'm keeping row 1. I am keeping row 2. Now to get my new row 3, I take the whole top by -2. -2, +4, -6, -18. I add it to the bottom. 2, -5, +5, 17. -2 plus 2 is 0. 4 plus -5 is -1. -6 plus 5 is -1. -18 plus 17 is -1. I still do not have row echelon form. I need this to be a 0. Well, I can make that a 0. If I add +1 and -1, I would get a 0. I need that 0 in row 3. So I am taking row 2 plus row 3 to obtain the 0. The 0 needs to go in row 3. So I'm keeping the top row again. That stays the same. I'm keeping the middle row the same. To get my new row 3, I'm going to add these. 0 plus 0, this is 0. 1 plus negative 1, that's 0. 4 plus negative 1, that's 3. 7 plus negative 1 is 6. So I have my corner of zeros. I need this to be 1. To turn a 3 into a 1, I multiply by 1/3. So I multiply the third row by 1/3 1 over 3 by 1/3 to get a new row 3. So 1, negative 2, 3, positive 9. 0, 1, 4, 7. 1/3 of 0 is 0. 1/3 of 0 is 0. 1/3 of 3 is 1. 1/3 of 6 is 2. So right now you have row echelon form. We are no longer stopping here. Now we go to Gauss-Jordan, where I need to go back and I need these numbers to be 0. So you go backwards. I need to cancel a 4. To cancel this 4, I use row 3. This is a 1. If I go ahead and take negative 4 times row 3, this would be a negative 4. I add it to row 2, I would get a 0 here. I need that 0 to be in row 2. So I'm keeping row 1 the same. I am keeping row 3 the same because now row 3 is totally ready. I take row 3 times negative 4. 0 times negative 4 is 0. 0 times negative 4 is 0. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. I'm adding it to row 2. 0, 1, 4, 7. What I get, that's my new row 2. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. So right now, the third row is ready. I know that z is 2. The middle row is ready. I know that y is negative 1. So again, working backwards, to cancel z, I need to use my 1z. This is a 3, so I need to make this a negative 3. So for my 6th step, negative 3 times row 3, this would be a negative 3. If I add it to row 1, I would get a 0 in this location. That 0 needs to be in row 1. So I am keeping the middle row the same because the middle row is ready. If you look at what we need a 0, 1, 0. We have a 0, 1, 0. The bottom row, 0, 0, 1. That's what we have. 0, 0, 1, and this is a 2. So if I take the bottom row times negative 3, 0 times negative 3 is 0. 0 times negative 3 is 0. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Add it to the current row 1. 1, negative 2, 3, 9. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 3 and 3 is 0. Negative 6 and 9 is 3. I have one number left. I need to cancel this negative 2. So to cancel a y, I use the equation that has one y. So I need to, final step, take 2 times row 2, because that way it would be a 2. If I add it to row 1, this would become a 0. I need that 0 to be in row 1. So again, my second row stays. My bottom row stays. To get my new row 1, take row 2 times 2. So it's 0, 2, 0, negative 2. Add it to row 1. 1, negative 2, 0, 3. 0 plus 1 is a 1. Positive 2, negative 2, 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. I have my main diagonal of 1s. So this is x, this is y, this is z. So your answer is 1, negative 1, 2. That is Gauss-Jordan elimination. Step 1, you get it to row echelon form, where you have your zeros and your main diagonal of 1s. From there, you continue your work your way from the bottom back up until you have this corner of zeros as well. So everything is zeros and 1s. The only 1s are on that main diagonal. When everything else is a 0 and you have your main diagonal 1s, the top number is x, The middle number is y, the bottom number is z. You can go ahead and write your ordered triple. Let's look at another one, okay? X, Y, Z equals a number, X, Y, Z equals a number, X, Y, Z equals a number. So I can go ahead, I'm just going to separate this off, and I can write it as a matrix. 1x, no y's, negative 3z equals sign, negative 2. 3x, 1y, negative 2z equals 5. 2x, 2y, 1z equals 4. So again, if I notice I have my main diagonal, which is 1s, chances are that's not going to stay because we have to rearrange everything. I am keeping the order because I have my 1 here. That's what I want. Let's go ahead and cancel the other x's. Remember, you always want to go left to right. Okay, it's going to kind of be the easiest way to do it. So if I need a 0 here, I need to change this 1 to a negative 3. So if I take negative 3 times row 1, this would become a negative 3. If I add it to row 2, that would be a 0. I need the 0 to fall in row 2. So I'm keeping row 1 the same. I am keeping row 3 the same. I am changing row 2 to whatever I get when I do this step. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. 0 times negative 3 is 0. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. Negative 2 times negative 3 is 6. Add it to the second row. 3, 1, negative 2, 5. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 9 plus a negative 2 is 7. 6 plus 5 is 11. So I have my 0. This is already a 1. That's awesome. Now I want this to be a 0 because we're going left to right. Let's take care of all the x's. To change this into a negative 2, I need to take negative 2 times row 1. That way it'd be a negative 2. If I add it to row 3, I would end up with a 0. I want that 0 to fall in row 3. So I'm changing row 3. Row 1 is not changing. Row 2 is not changing. So I take row 1 times negative 2. Negative 2, 0, positive 6, and 4. I add it to row 3. 2, 2, 1, 4. What I get, that becomes my new row 3. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. 6 plus 1 is 7. 4 plus 4 is 8. I need this to be a 0. So in order to cancel this y, I'm going to use this y. This is a 1. If I can make it a negative 2, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So my third step, I'm going to multiply row 2 by negative 2 because this will now be a negative 2. If I add it to row 3, I would get a 0. I want that 0 to be located in row 3. So I'm keeping row 1 the same. 1, 0, negative 3, dot, 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 negative 2. I'm keeping row 2. 0, 1, 7, 11. I'm changing row 3. I take row 2 and I multiply it by negative 2. 0 times negative 2 is 0. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. 11 times negative 2 is negative 22. Add it to row 3. 0, 2, 7, 8. When you add this together, I have 0 plus 0, we get a 0. Negative 2 plus a positive 2 is 0. Negative 14 plus 7 is a negative 14. Negative 14 plus 7 is a negative 7. Negative 22 plus 8 is my negative 14. Now I want this to be a 1. Okay, I can make that a 1. So my fourth step, I need to cancel the negative and the 7. So negative 1/7 of row 3 needs to become my new row 3. Row 1 stays. Row 2 stays. Row 3, I multiply every value by negative 1/7, which is the same as dividing by negative 7. 0 divided by negative 7 is 0. 0 divided by negative 7 is 0. Negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1. Negative 14 divided by negative 7 is 2. So now what I need to do are get these zeros. To cancel a 7, I'm going to use this 1 to cancel. So I need to take negative 7 times row 3. That would become a negative 7. I need to add it to row 2. I would get a 0. I need that 0 to fall into row 2. So I'm keeping row 1. I am keeping row 3. I'm taking row 3, multiplying everything by negative 7. 0 times negative 7 is 0. 0 times negative 7 is 0. 1 times negative 7 is negative 7. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. Add it to row 2. 0, 1, 7, 11. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Negative 14 plus 11 is negative 3. So right now I have these. The only number I have left is this negative 3. To cancel the z, I'm going to use the 1z. This is a negative 3, so I need to make this a positive 3. So I am going to take 3 times row 3, because that will become a 3. Add it to row 1. When I add them together, at that point, I'd get a 0. I want that 0 in row 1. So I'm keeping 0, 1, 0, negative 3. This tells me right now, I know that y is a negative 3. 0, 0, 1. This is z. Z is a 2. So this step, I'm going to be able to figure out what x is. I take the bottom times 3. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Add it to row 1. 1, 0, negative 3, negative 2. Whatever I get, that makes my new row 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 3 and a positive 3 makes 0. 6 plus a negative 2 is 4. Everything is zeros except for my main diagonal. That's what Gauss-Jordan elimination is. When you hit this, the top value is x, the middle value is y, the bottom value is z. So your answer is 4, negative 3, 2. That is your order triple. One more example, and then I'm going to actually have you try this one on your own, and we'll see how you did when we zoom together, okay? So one more together. Step 1, turn it into an augmented matrix. X, Y, Z equals a number, X, Y, Z equals a number, X, Y, Z equals a number. So we're good to go. 1, negative 1, 1, equal sign, 14. 2, negative 1, 1, 21. 3, 2, 1, 19. So again, I have my 1 here. I'm going to keep everything the way it is. I'm going to cancel this x. To cancel a 2, I need to make this a negative 2. So negative 2 times row 1, add it to row 2. What I'm doing is canceling an x. I want that 0 in row 2. So I keep the top the same. I keep the bottom the same. And I need to find my new row 2. So I take the whole top, everything times negative 2. So it's negative 2, positive 2, negative 2, negative 28. Add it to row 2. 2, negative 1, 1, 21. What I get, that's my new row 2. Negative 2, positive 2 is 0. Positive 2, negative 1 is 1. That's awesome. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Negative 28 plus 21 is negative 7. Now I want to cancel this x. So I need to make this top a negative 3. So I go negative 3 times row 1. This will become a negative 3. I add it to row 3. A negative 3 plus 3 will be a 0. I want that 0 in row 3. So I'm keeping row 1 the same. I am keeping row 2 the same. To get my new row 3, I have to do this. Take row 1, every value times negative 3. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. Negative 3 times 1 is a negative 3. Negative 3 times positive 14 is negative 42. Now I went ahead and multiplied all those by negative 3. Now I add it to row 3. 3, 2, 1, 19. Negative 3 plus 3, 0. 3 plus 2, 5. Negative 3 plus 1, negative 2. negative 42 plus 19, negative 23. I need this to be a 0. So in order to cancel this y, use the 1y. If I multiply row 2 by negative 5 times row 2 would make this a negative 5. If I add it to row 3, I would get a 0. I want that 0 located in row 3. So I'm changing row 3 only. 1, negative 1, 1, equal sign 14. 0, 1, negative 1, negative 7. Now to get my new row 3, take row 2, everything times negative 5. 0 times negative 5 is 0. 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 1 is positive 5. Negative 5 times negative 7 is positive 35. Add it to row 3. 0, 5, negative 2, negative 23. That's your new row 3. 0 plus 0 makes 0. Negative 5, positive 5 makes 0. Positive 5 minus 2 is 3. 35 minus 23, this is 12. Now I want this a 1 because then we have row echelon form. So if I take 1/3 times row 3, I would have row echelon form because then I'd have my bottom corner of zeros and my main diagonal would be 1s. So I'm keeping the top. 1, negative 1, 1. This is 14. 0, 1, negative 1, negative 7. I'm taking the whole bottom and multiplying by 1/3, which is the same as dividing by 3. 0 divided by 3 is 0. 0 divided by 3 is 0. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So now I have row echelon form. So now we need to go from the bottom up. Starting from the bottom, now I want to make this a 0. I can totally make this into a 0. I just have to add those two together. So if I go step 5, if I take row 3 plus row 2, I would get a 0 here. Where do I want that 0? I want the 0 in row 2. So I'm keeping row 1 the same. I'm keeping row 3 because, you guys, row 3 is done. We know that z is really a 4. If I add these two, that's going to give me my new row 2. 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Negative 7 plus 4 is negative 3. So now I know that y is a negative 3. I need to keep going. So if I want to cancel this, if I want to make this a 0, it's a z. So I use a 1z. So if I go ahead and go negative row 3, so I'm going to take everything in row 3, multiply it by negative. If I add it to row 1, I would get a 0. I want that 0 in row 1. So again, my middle row and my bottom row are already rocking. Don't change them. Take the whole bottom, change the signs. So it's 0, 0, negative 1, negative 4. Add it to row 1. 1, negative 1, 1, 14. Whatever I get, that's my new row 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus negative 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Negative 4 plus 14 is 10. I have one more 0 to get. To cancel this y, I want to use the 1y. So check this out. All I need to do is take row 1 plus row 2, because if I add them, this will be a 0. I want that 0 to fall in row 1. So I'm adding row 1 and row 2 to make a new row 1. This is my final. I'm done. 0, 1, 0, that's negative 3. 0, 0, 1, that's 4. Add these two together, that makes your new row 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. Negative 1, positive 1, 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 10 and a negative 3 is 7. We're done. This is Gauss-Jordan elimination. So this is x, this is y, this is z. So your answer is 7, negative 3, positive 4. So what I want you to do is go ahead and try this one. When we Zoom together, we'll go through it and we'll see how you did. I hope you enjoyed this kind of advanced process of solving systems of equations, and I will see you shortly.